Cage Minds, Micah Frankel. We're at Revel Entertainment Center. Fightworld 31, our first winner tonight, Alex St. Classis Brown. Sir, how's it feel to be a mixed martial artist?
Feels damn good, man. Couldn't be anything else, honestly. No.
You have your first amateur experience, walk out in these bright lights. Was it what you expected it to be?
Yeah, just about. I love crowds. And this wasn't different. I guess I was feeling it a bit more than I thought I'd be, you know?
You don't have a martial arts background, you told me, not a wrestling background. What leads you then to the cage?
I just love fighting. And this is the best way to do it, you know, because back in the day, back in the 90s, you know, it was more free, you know, better expression, no wraps, headbutts, all that stuff. I like that stuff, but this is the closest I can get. And, you know, here, the way the rules are now, it's beautiful because you get a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't compete. So, you know, with the gloves, with no headbutts, you know, it feels like a kind of dignified thing. So back in the 90s also, right, you think about the best boxing divisions that have ever existed, right? You think about Marvin Hagler, Mike Tyson, all them people, right? Now we have that for MMA. And so I'm just hoping that one day I can get good enough that I can fight those people. You know what I mean? So that's what brings me to the cage.
You get in the cage. Did it feel different than you expected? I mean, practice, sparring is one thing, but first time getting to go for real, and wanting to get the job done. Like, you don't want to hurt your sparring partner, but this guy, you wanted to finish.
Well, you see, that's the nice part, because in sparring, you always have to be conscious about whether or not you're going to hurt your sparring partner, right? But in here, I could let loose. I could throw anything as hard as I wanted to. The hardest part was not overcommitting. I'm sure you saw that head kick I missed, right? If I had just toned that down a little bit, I might have hit it. Same thing with a couple of those front kicks. I was trying to knock him out with them, but I could have taken it easier, right? So that was rough. But I've been in a cage before. I've been in this cage before. I was doing blood at Fightworld 29. So I know what it's like. None of that surprised me. It's just, it's different. It's different. Just a little bit.
Little bit of back and forth. I'd say the fight, you got a comeback victory. There's some trying moments there early. How did that feel, having to work out of some bad predicaments?
So I never really felt like I was in danger there. And I don't mean any disrespect to my opponent. He was doing a great job. But if I didn't let him get my back, he would have never gotten my back. If I hadn't taken that to the ground, we would have never gone to the ground. And if I feel like he wasn't trying as hard as he could have for those chokes. Because you realize it's like an amateur fight's shorter. So for a guy with his style, he's a jiu-jitsu guy, that makes the fight harder for him. If he had been more aggressive with those chokes, I might have panicked and slipped up and made a mistake. But he just let me fight him off, and then we went to time. And so next time, you know, I can be more proactive to stop that from happening. But as it stands, I mean, I wasn't too disappointed with my performance, especially it being my first time.
Let's also talk about that finish. You give him a knee, it causes the shot, you get the guillotine. I don't know if you want to talk about how you set that up or your faith in your jiu-jitsu. I don't know, let me have it.
I don't do jiu-jitsu.
Well, you choked somebody, so you got some submission game in there. We got submission artistry.
But my favorite submission artist of all time got to be Kazushi Sakuraba. And so honestly, I was hoping I could mimic him a little bit in that second round, and when he got my back, take a Kimura, right? But that didn't happen. So in the second round, I was resolved. I had to, in the third round, my bad, but I had to finish it. So what I realized was that he was cautious. So I couldn't play cautious. He was going to get me if I did that, in one way or another. I don't think he was going to knock me out, but I took very seriously his submissions. So I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if I ended this with a flying knee? So boom, flying knee, first thing I did. He backed up, he was scared. So I think next thing I did, and I can't remember if it was the knee first or the overhand, but I threw an overhand in there, and that connected pretty good. Then he was staggered, so we went for that clinch, and I don't know if it was the knee that brought him down or if it was the overhand, but he dipped his head, and that's when I knew I had it. So I grabbed up that guillotine, and honestly, I wouldn't have stayed at that guillotine if I didn't feel him he got a little tired. I'm sorry I'm losing my train of thought, but he got a little tired in there, because I know he was pretty good about rolling out of that guillotine. So my plan wasn't to finish with the guillotine. I was going to go on top, roll him on top probably with butterfly hooks, because he was already going to go that way. But he was too tired for that. So I'm sure you saw that my legs went from down low, where I could switch to that butterfly hook, to up a little higher on his waist to finish. And it's because I realized that he couldn't move his weight the way he had been in that earlier round. And that's when I knew I had it.
First one in the win column. Alex, congratulations.
Thank you.